as the Big Guava.
The Big Guava had arrived.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening for all those who are listening. I am Frank the Wizard, aka Radgore the Wizard, aka your caster here at the Big Guava Gamers, and we are talking with the one, the only, the fantastic Hummingbird Alters.
Hummingbird Alters.
Awesome. Oh man. So, for most people already listening, you are probably familiar who Hummingbird is. However, let's go ahead and go over for a quick introduction to those who are not quite as familiar as some of the other listeners.
Hi, I am Hummingbird Alters. I go by Hummingbird as well on a lot of social media. That first I is gonna. I paint all day, every day. I love painting birds and fantasy art and surreal art. And I have found a wonderful community in the CEDH people. So I paint on magic cards for all your CEDH needs, casual needs. I'll do play sets for your legacy deck. I love altering magic cards.
It's so true. It's beautiful art, truly fantastic. Really breathing life into those cards for sure. And we're going to go ahead and talk about all of that as well as how you performed at our latest event, the Big Guava June Invitational. Ah!
I was invited. They invited me.
You were invited, absolutely.
Yes.
So,
I like an invitation only, you know? Still nice.
you know, I was thinking about that name too. We call it the
Win, lose, or
Invitational,
draw.
but we kind of just put a
Yeah. Because we have done invitationals before, where it is literally a secret location. We know the 16 people showing up or whatever, and that I like that. So yeah, we have to not call it invitational. It was an open. It was a 1K open.
Is there such a thing as an open invitational?
No.
No. All right.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of just defeats the
I
purpose.
think they're antithetical. Yeah.
So funny. So funny. Okay. So, I have a few inquiries here that I would like to throw at you. Curiosities that I have pondered here in my thinking chair when it comes to that faithful day. First question is, how did you approach the meta, the modern meta of CEDH? You are playing a combination of commanders that, quite frankly, I don't quite see every day or get seen talk about every day. Yet, and you're about to go rolling into this explanation, you did very well. So, can you explain to everybody who you were playing and how you approached the day of?
I played the best combination of colors, in my opinion, what I find safe, which is Bant. White, green, blue. I played Thrasios Yoshimaru. Just a wonderful, wonderful expansion on what everyone's been trying to do with Thrasios. Be it Timna Thrasios, be it Rog Thrasios. We are better than both decks because we run a very efficient white Simic game plan. We don't mess around with a color that doesn't really do much, as in red. And for my opinion, I think black's not doing too much in their Timna Thrasios decks. So for me, I started with Arden Thrasios. That was literally a shower thought. I was playing Nadu. They killed my bird. They killed him. So I was a little bit in the crisis of what to play. I went back to Yuriko because I love Yuriko. I got 10th place in a 64-man with Yuriko. So I'm like, I know I'm good with Yuriko. I have the deck like foiled and signed. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna keep on playing Yuriko.
I believe it.
But then in my head, I was like, that's not my deck. That's not my deck. I need something that's me. So I was like, what do I want to play? And I kind of wanted to play Timna Thras. Back in September when they killed the bird. I'm like, Timna Thras seems pretty cool. I don't know. And then I was like, what if I just take the black out of it? So I was like, Bant sounds really nice. That's my comfort zone. I love playing Bant. I played Bant in old school. Shout out to Urnamageddon, which is my deck. It's really fun. I was like, Bant feels really nice. And I was like, what's my commander? So I did Arden because I love attaching a skull clamp to other people's bowmasters and drawing 2 cards. It sounds really good. And then while playing Arden for months, I started a Discord for all Bant Thrasios enjoyers.
That's right.
And they have convinced me to get onto Yoshimaru. So I built Yoshimaru. I wanted to play a more control-heavy version of Yoshimaru, which is what I'm playing. And it worked. And I kept on working at the control list of it. And I was like, maybe I'll go back to Arden. Maybe I'll do Yoshimaru. But then I had a week where my lovely girlfriend took a trip for a week. And I was home. And I worked during the day. And I only played Spell Table at night. I just grinded till 1, 2. I'm playing with randos. I'm playing with people on Discord. I'm playing with really good players I know I'll see at the tournament. And I'm just grinding. And I refine this Yoshimaru deck down to this beautiful little energy ball. And I just Kamehameha everybody with it.
Absolutely. Kamehameha is the right choice of words here, because it sounds like you spent the time in the hyperbolic time chamber preparing for our metaphorical cell games.
Screaming, Kakarot, I'm the Super Saiyan! It's like, I knew what it took, because I've done tournaments, modern. I used to play a lot of modern, a lot of standard, back when standard was good. No offense to people who were playing arena. And I know how to grind your deck. You pick one deck and you play the hell out of it. And you know every single interaction, you know every single combo piece, you know every single what to fetch, what to search for. So if I was going to play this deck, I had to get reps in. And that's a big thing for CEDH players. Not that they don't get reps in, but they play the deck 3 or 4 times, and they're like, this deck sucks, I don't like it. And be like, dude, you have to change 10 cards throughout the time that you're playing it. You have to change 20 cards in the time you're playing it. It turns into a different deck, and you get better at it, too. You know, like, I barely know what to look for with a Green Sun Zenith. You know what I mean? Like, is a Green Sun Zenith for 1? Is it for 2? Is it for 4? Like, I don't know. You have to get in there and, like, figure it out, and you do that by doing reps.
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, I would love to talk about the one that's in my head, if you permit me, Mr. Wizard.
When it comes to one of the games you had in the tournament?
The final game and the reason I lost.
Okay, hold on to that one for sure. I want to talk about the finals at the very end, if that's cool.
Okay, yes.
Cool, fantastic. Because
Okay.
I have
I'm a yapper.
No, bro. We're gonna. It's our job to yap here. We are S tier yappers. I sometimes like to call myself the mayor of New Yap City.
New Yap City.
That's
gotta
right.
Be a '90s rap song somewhere. There's got to be a B-side that's New Yap City.
Yeah, dude, it's very Earthbound-esque.
Yeah, that's like a Lauryn Hill unreleased track somewhere.
Oh
The mayor
God.
of Yap City or something. That's got some grittiness. I like that.
That's right. Here in Yap City, we cook in our 99. We may choose a commander people may know of and are familiar with, but what resides within the pages, within our tomes, our grimoires, our overall library, that remains a mystery. When those mysterious spells hit the table, I bet there are several occasions where people are underestimating these cards, because it's like, I don't see this. No CEDH podcast talks about this. What in God's name is a Nantuko, you know? Freaking Oculus, that's a standard card. What are we doing here? So go ahead. Were there any cards that you believe may have been underestimated in your tournament experience that just started dominating and snowballing in the value?
Almost every game. I'd say probably 3 of the 6 games I played. Nature's Chosen. So it's a dollar card from Alliances, never been reprinted. Art by Rebecca Gay, unbelievable. That is an enchant creature for 1 green mana. The enchantment says, not the creature gains this, the enchantment says 0, untap a creature. You can only do this once and only during your turn. It also has a second ability that says 0, tap the enchanted creature to untap an artifact, creature, or land.
Good lord.
Only do this once a turn and only if it's white.
Ooh.
So you turn your Yoshimaru, your Esper Sentinel, your Tataru Taru, any of your early white creatures that come down, you turn them into a creature that untaps a Cradle. It untaps a Mana Vault, untaps a The One Ring, which I'm experimenting with not playing The One Ring in my deck, but still, for the tournament I was running The One Ring. It turns your creature, even if it's untapping a command tower. You get 2 of those. You get 2 untaps a turn cycle. It's insane. And it also gives your creature haste doing that. So it doesn't have haste, but it can do that right when it comes in. So I did turn 1, say command tower, Lotus Petal, played Yoshimaru, and then Nature's Chosen onto the Yoshimaru. Yoshimaru now gets to untap my land so I can counter something and then untap that land again if I need it. It's like and then going into the next turn, I have so much mana. I have mana I can keep up for later. And that was like 3 games in a row. I did Nature's Chosen either turn 1 or turn 2. And it puts you ahead by 1, 2 mana. And then late game, you get a Gaia's Cradle down, which of course I'm playing tons of Gaia's Cradles. Or I play the One Ring, or Mana Vault just kind of comes up all the time. You're making so much mana. I untapped a Derevi to block. I've untapped so many things. Nature's Chosen. Again, just want to say, you're not going to play Nature's Chosen in Rogdrass because it only equips to white creatures and does the good stuff on white creatures for the most part. And same thing with like Timna Thrasios. You have such a card pool of good cards that you're like, okay, why would I run this? I can run Demonic Tutor. But this card is such a sleeper. It's a $1 card, doesn't come in foil. The art is very muted. It's beautiful once you like really get into it, but like no one sees it coming. That one's really good. I've been talking about Tataru Taru, new card from Final Fantasy. 2 mana, 0/3, legendary, so Yoshimaru gets bigger. White creature, so Nature's Chosen likes it more. But also it's a cantrip, so when it ETBs, you get to draw a card, and then target player may draw a card. So you get to make a friend. So normally I'll go with the control player and be like, hey, you want to draw a card? And they're like my friend now. Or the person who's behind, seat 4. And you're like, hey man, I know your struggle. Have a card. He's like, yeah, of course. And then whenever any opponent draws a card, when it's not their turn, you make a tapped treasure token. That only happens once each turn. So at the best, Tataru is putting out 4 tapped treasures a round. But when you get to your turn, what's good about playing Bant is that you have explosive turns. I want to untap with as much mana as possible, put down a silence effect, put down an infinite mana effect, which doesn't cost me that much. It costs me 5 mana for the most part. So if I'm untapping with 4 extra, treasure tokens, I'm gonna find a way to win. So Tataru has just been great. She's a 0/3. She doesn't die to Bowmasters, and people don't really Bowmaster her that much. It's just great. I like a lot of cards that do so much that people don't clone them. They leave alone, and then when it's time for you to win, you just win. There's a million cards like that in the deck, but people don't respect getting incremental value. People just, because everyone's running counter spells, but not a ton of them. So if you're just doing I get value, I get value, I get value, then you're able to put out a silence effect like a Grand Abolisher. No one can do anything about it if you push your Grand Abolisher. And another card that no one sees coming is Abhorrent Oculus. This is a standard card, 3 mana, 5/5 flyer. When you cast it, you have to exile 6 cards from your graveyard. We are running green, so we have a ton of creature tutors. We normally do not cast this card. We birthing pod our Thrasios for it, stuff like that. When it comes into play, it's a 5/5 beater, but then also on everyone else's upkeep, you get to manifest dread. What's cool about manifest is that if you pay the converted mana cost of that creature at any time, it is a special action like a mana ability. No, it doesn't use a stack. No one can react to it. And you flip that upside down creature up. So I can do that to a Grand Abolisher. It's an uncounterable Grand Abolisher on my turn. So all those counter spells that you are sandbagging, that you think that you have everything wrapped up, I have 4 manifest tokens. You have to pick which one you think is the Grand Abolisher to blow up. But it's my turn. I have priority. I'm like, cool, my main phase 1, I flip up a Grand Abolisher. And everyone's like, okay. And I go, cool, make infinite mana, I win the game.
That's it.
So nice. Abhorrent Oculus also feeds your Cradle. It also beats people to death. I beat who did I beat to death? I beat someone to death with it.
Good lord.
Yeah, I mean, you're just beating them to death with a gigantic, eyeball, and the manifest tokens look like little eyeballs too, so it's just eyeballs everywhere. Oh, Will of the Mardu. I can keep going. I play so many cards that not a lot of people do, but because you're on a Cradle effect, I want cards that add as many tokens to the battlefield as possible. Will of the Mardu is for 3 mana, 2 and a white. If you have your commander, you can do both things, which of course I'm gonna have a commander. My commander is 1 mana and 2 mana. You pick a player and you make that many red warrior tokens equal to how many creatures they have. You could pick yourself. It's just target player, not opponent. So if I'm already way ahead on creatures, I double my creature count, which in a Cradle deck is pretty good.
That is good.
And then also, you deal damage equal to how many creatures you have to target creature. So you burn out another creature. To be honest, since the tournament, I added another targeted creature removal because VVs are out there, Rals are out there. There's so many turbo decks that you just need to kill their creature. Magda is out there. You gotta kill these things. And bouncing them is not good enough. You bounce a Ral, they don't care. You bounce a Magda, they don't care. You know what I mean? You need to kill them. You need to make them cost more mana. So I love the spot removal. And also, I kill your creature and I double my creatures. Insane. My Gaia's Cradle has never been happier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are playing Mardu Tech, but due to the geniuses at Wizards of the Coast, they just allowed any deck with white to run the Mardu card.
It should cost Mardu.
It should cost Mardu.
Just 2 colorless and a white doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make Mardu. That's
no.
1/3 of a Mardu.
It's got Mardu dudes on it. It's got a big dragon and a bunch of dudes, a bunch of guys from, northern China on it. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that's cool. That's Mardu, but okay.
Yeah, all right. All right. Sure.
I'm happy they made that so I can run it in the deck.
100%.
So
no.
good.
Listen, 100%.
This is why I tell people, if you're in a CDH deck you like, find the Discord. Find the Facebook group and talk to your friends, because Will the Mardu, I didn't know until some guy was just every day being like, this card. And we're like, oh, okay, we'll test it, crazy person. And we're all just like, holy fuck. You are a genius,
Yeah.
So it just takes one person to be like, hey, I just took down my FNM with this one card. And then we're all on it. It's the democratization, the homogenization of the internet.
So we've talked about the process of building the deck. We've talked about how you have come up with your own ideas. You've listened to the creativity of the members of your Discord. You went night and day with repetition, just using mulligans on your hands, ghost piloting your deck to the win, playing as much games of Magic as possible. And when it comes to the day of, we clearly can see that it paid off, as we will go into our brackets here. So let's start us off with game number 1. How did that play out?
This one you would think would be the quick, because it was the fastest I think I won a game, but I was intimately aware of the decks I was playing and the pilots I'm playing. So these are two guys I have played so much and I would take a bullet for. They were in jail, I'd bail them out. They're in the middle of Alligator Alcatraz, I would break them out. You know what I mean? Like, those are my boys.
Those are the boys.
So I use that to my advantage to crush them.
I know my boys. I know how to kill my boys.
They're my boys, so I know how to beat them. But that's really what it came down to. I know that Clay in seat 1 is on Brea, and it's literally just advantage. He tries to draw as much as possible. To draw 1,000,000 cards, find infinite mana, Brea you to death. Obviously. But he's also running Sands Green, which is, in my opinion, the best colors in EDH. So, at least CEDH. So, I knew that his advantage plan is something I have to fight. So I'm in seat 3. Seat 2 is Jeremy Murphy, who plays Turbo Selesnya. So he is trying to pod his artifacts and creatures into a 2-card combo win with Safi's Eriksdotter. And I know he's trying to do that. And I know how to beat his deck. Because on Moxfield, I follow everybody. All of my friends I follow on Moxfield, and I implore you, whoever's listening and watching, to follow all your friends on Moxfield, because you get to see what they're cooking up. You get to encourage them or say like, hey dude, you should run an extra land, or what the heck are you playing, Lion's Eye Diamond for in this deck. But I know what he's doing. I know what he's thinking. And as a turbo deck, I need to stop the turbo deck once, which my deck I built to be more control than mid-range, which every Cradle deck is very mid-range. I wanted to be very control-y. And if I find the win, great, I'm going to go for it. But I'm just trying to mess up everybody, and I'm going to have way more resources than everyone at all times. So as long as I stop people from winning, not through stacks, but through real cards, I'm going to win. So Brea is developing. She tries to play a Ristic Study. I counter that. He goes, cool, Draneth. I was like, okay, I can win through a Draneth. I think I had Yoshimaru at the time. I was like, whatever. Safi goes, cool, developing, play my own Draneth. And I go, crap, there's 2 Draneths, but this could be just a long game, and I have a Cyclonic Rift, and I'm 1,000,000 mana. I'm okay.
Yeah.
We get to my turn. A couple turns go around. Orcish Bowmaster gets played out. The Safi deck is not going for it, but is developing like they're about to go for it. I say, okay. He plays a Ranger Captain of Eos also. So I got 2 Dranis, a Bowmasters, a Ranger Captain of Eos. And I'm literally drawing lands. I finally draw Obero Breezecaller, which is an incredible card. If no one knows what Obero Breezecaller does, it is a 1/1 flying Moonfolk for 2 mana, 1 and a blue. For 2 colorless mana, you can bounce a land to untap a land.
Oh, wow.
So with Talon Gates of Madara, Gaia's Cradle, I know the number. I think it's 5 creatures on the battlefield. You can go infinite and make infinite mana of all colors, because Talon Gates can filter the mana.
Right.
Also, you can phase out all the creatures you want. It's a great combo. And I love any combo that has 1 to 0 dead cards in it. So that's kind of, Obero is kind of a dead card, but it's also just a 1/1 flyer that feeds your Cradle, so it's not terrible. And it's also very easy to find in our green tutors. So I go, cool, I can phase out all your creatures. I can't win right now, but I can phase out all your creatures. Or no, I could win. So I go, okay, I am going to play Obero. Everyone's like, cool. I believe how'd I get rid of the Ranger Captain? I got rid of the Ranger Captain before this somehow. I did something, he popped the Ranger Captain. I go, cool, play the Fairy. Go, okay, I'm gonna present a loop. I'm gonna bounce my Talon Gates. I'm gonna play my Talon Gates, phasing on the stack. Seat 2, Safi goes, cool, touch of the Spirit Realm to bounce your Obero. I was like, okay. So I can't win that turn. Yeah. I go, cool. You guys have a turn, because once this guy comes back in, I have infinite mana, and I can phase out everyone's stuff. He goes, cool, so I now have infinite mana and can phase out everything at instant speed. Non-interactable, it's an ability. I mean, you can interact, but it's very hard to have a stifle. So on Brea's turn, phase out all the things I don't care about. On Safi's deck, turn, phase out all the things I don't care about. My turn, win. Super easy. I just knew where to stop the other players. So it was a win. And yet I benefited from a fourth person not being there for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what you have to do. You have to kind of be like, okay, I'm on a 3-person pod, kind of go fast, or try to find the win. Or if you find the win, just jam it, which is what I did. I was kind of drawing dead a lot of times. Couldn't play my Thrasios. So I just had a billion mana. And then I finally found what I needed.
Here. So we've talked about game 1, pod 9 here at the Big Guava June Invitational, where it was Hummingbird Altars, Jeremy Murphy, and Clayton Enrico, with Hummingbirds on Dog Thras, Jeremy Murphy on Safi Eric's daughter, and Clayton Enrico on Brea. That is the information that I have here. We would now go ahead and discuss round 2, which was the featured match of round 2. We are in pod 1 with TJ, Hummingbird Altars, Lucas Georges, and Eric Gustafsson. I'm sorry if I'm saying any of these names wrong. I do apologize. So,
this one. Oh, good. Sorry.
Oh no, go right ahead. I was basically just gonna ask, how did round 2 play out for you?
I'm gonna make these a little quicker. Round 2, I got wheeled into the win. So I was in seat 2. Seat 1 was Ariette, where if you draw a card instead, exile top 2, which I know has a bunch of combos in it. And Is It right now is like the turbo deck in CEDH. You have Ral, you have every turbo deck is It. Even Rogsai is very Is It. So I knew to like watch them, but Ariette is not as scary as Ral or Rogsai or VV. So I'm like, all right. And then me in seat 2, and then Marnius in seat 3, which we have a player in our area who is a Marnius pilot from hell. It's pure control. It is a nightmare to win against him. He doesn't push for a win early. He just controls the game forever. So I was like, okay, I'm watching you, Marnius. And then Eric, who is one of my oldest Magic the Gathering buddies, who I haven't seen in a long time until this tournament, which is why I love tournaments. You get to see people you haven't seen in forever.
Yeah.
He just like moved into a different part of the city. We just lost contact. He's living his life.
Hey, good
And he's on TNT. So we go around. Everything's fine. I'm making a bunch of mana. And then Ariette, or is it? It's Ariette, right? Right, that's the.
You know, I'm trying to see if it shows the name of the commander here on top deck.
Was it Riel? What's the one?
It's only giving me their names, actually. I'm not getting the names of their commanders here.
It's Riel, not Ariette.
Okay.
Riel. Right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't freaking know. What's Ariette? Oh, Ariette's a different one. It was the legendary where if you draw a card, instead exile top 2 cards of your library, you can play them this turn.
Here we
It gets
go.
played in clubs. But yeah, is it draw cards? So whenever you discard a card, draw 2 or whatever you're gonna do, you draw 4 instead. So you just are able to do everything.
Gotcha.
So they kind of just play a Ral and like, oh crap, they got Ral in the 99. Play a Ral, and then play a Wheel of Fortune. And so the TNT player, who I believe had a counterspell, was like, my hand sucks, cool him into it. I'm like, I'm the next one up. So I'm like, of course I'm cool with it. I had like 5 cards in hand. I was like, yeah, draw me into stuff. And then the Marnius player's like, fine, whatever. We wheel, and then they go, pass. And I go, okay. So I untap, and I just draw into like everything. I have everything in my hand. But I'm like, everyone else has everything in their hand. But most people are tapped out. So I'm like, I'm just gonna push. At the time, I believe I had the Yoshimaru with a Nature's Chosen on it, like I said before. So I was like, even if I get stuffed, like I'm still in a pretty good position.
Right.
But if I get stuffed, then the next 2 people are gonna win. But I'm like, F it, we ball. You know what I mean? Everyone's tapped out. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I go crop rotation right away. And the TNT player, who again is one of my buddies, I've been playing with him for over a decade, like 13 years, was like, what do you got? And the red blue player is just like, I have a mental misstep, but I don't think it's now. Because I also enlightened tutored, I forgot this, I enlightened tutored a training grounds at the top of my library. So they're all just like, oh, he's just trying to training grounds and then do something with training grounds, which training grounds is a part of one of my combos. So he's like, I'm just going to count as training grounds. And so they say that. So as a CEDH player in a tournament, you have to listen to what people are saying as well as seeing the cards on the battlefield. So I go, cool, crop rotation. He goes, cool, good. I'm like, cool, cradle, obviously. And then I played a Derevi, untap the cradle. I have a bunch of mana floating. I have the win literally in hand. But I'm like, I know they have counter spells, so maybe I'll just bait some stuff out. So I go training grounds, because then I'm going to see if anyone has the mind break trap.
Yeah.
He's like, cool, counter that. I was like, all right, cool.
Done.
Go to attacks, attack everybody, untap a bunch of stuff with Derevi. So I pretty much just have untapped lands again, plus a cradle. Sick. Devoted Druid, Machine Guns Effigy, win the game. Because now I make Infinite Blue, go find Fairy Mastermind, and then make everyone draw their deck. So yeah, I just kind of like tested the waters, but whenever you play a Wheel of Fortune and pass a turn, like it's the wrong thing to do. Like it really is, and like I don't want to go back to, but I'm gonna go back there. My brain hurts, but like when I played Play to Win, played on Play to Win. I think it's the one. Is it the one that everyone saw that's on YouTube? We did 3 games. One's on their Patreon, where the blue farm was like wheel and then pass to Atali and Atali won. Because it's like, don't wheel and then pass the turn. Like, granted, I know you're like hoping for something, but if you wheel with 0 mana, it's just, I feel like it's such a mistake. I feel like you give the game to someone else. So someone wheeled and I was next up, and I'm like, all right, I have to fight through a couple of counter spells maybe. Oh, I believe I had a Swan Song too. Someone tried to counter something out of Swan Song for it. Like, I was kind of going for it. So that was 2. Someone wheeled me into literally the win and a Gaia's Cradle. So if I got stopped at end point, either I would have won without the Gaia's Cradle or passed the turn with a Derevi and a Gaia's Cradle out, which would have been fine too. So
yeah, the wheels in CEDH have always intrigued me. That they have withstood the test of time when it comes to being considered as a staple, as powerful cards, because in nature, yes, they refresh your grip of cards. You can exhaust all cards in hand to then end off with a wheel to generate new cards and disrupting your opponent's current strategies by also resetting the hand they had, the thoughts they had, and now they have to get a fresh 7, and now you have to pray that whatever 7 cards they get are either going to be worse than what they had before, or unfortunately deal with some way of dealing with better 7 cards that you just handed to them.
But it's 7 cards for you and 21 cards for your opponents. Like, that's, you're giving everybody such a chance to win or outmaneuver you, and we didn't have to pay 3 mana, 2 mana because the guy had a Ral out. We didn't have to pay mana. We just untap with all the mana we want.
It's true.
He wheeled me. I sold a white man up. I was like, cool, Enlightened Tutor at the end of your turn. Like, like, cool. I didn't want to go get a Ristic Study because I knew everyone would like pile on me. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go get a Training Grounds, which is kind of good. And like, you just try to bait people in certain ways. But yeah, I think that wheels are really stupid unless you're playing Heliod. You play Heliod, you play Rogsai maybe, where you have the Bowmasters. Like, those are cool, but like, just wheeling and then passing a turn just felt like a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I attempted to do CEDH Xylus. I think it's Xylus, the Writhing Storm, with the Serpent tokens. That when it attacks, you draw, they draw.
That guy seems good.
He is good, but you just have to worry about giving people cards. Because it's like, no matter what, in CEDH, giving up somebody cards is bad. It's not good. You don't want to give people more cards, but at the same
Yeah, you get
time,
snakes
there
and
are
fuck 'em up.
some decks that would prefer those cards in hand, or I mean, prefer those cards in deck than in hand. Like if I'm playing Xylus and I'm against, and again, this is probably gonna sound so crazy, like Magda or Itali, there's kind of a thought in me that's like, well, hey, maybe we'll just give them something expensive that they would rather flip. Like, what are they gonna do if I put the Emrakul in their hand? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
guess.
it's never good.
Giving your opponent's card, yeah, it's so scary.
And these
It's
are the
like, I know I'm
conversations
doing
you have
the
to
wrong
have for
thing.
yourself when you play a deck like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever, I benefited from it. And like I play all advantage. So if you even get me into not a winning position, it's like, okay, I have advantage. I'm going to have so much advantage. Like, all right, cool. I'll dump 20 mana into my field. Like, it's not a good idea to wheel unless you have it all set up. If you have everything set up and you're storming off with that person's commander or with like Ral and like more pieces out, like if it's a part of your plan, cool. But if it's like the only plan, don't do it.
Exactly.
That's my thought.
Like, what do we?
But
what
I
do we
get
do
it.
at that
He
point?
wants to take game actions. He wants to progress the game forward. You know, whatever.
I hear you. Because I mean, yeah, you might land on something good, you might not. But we saw
Sure, he
how
could've
it
hit
played
all
out
the
there.
zero drop stuff and kept going. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh well. But with that game underway and wrapped up, we then moved on to round 3, where once again you were at pod 1, you were seat 3. I actually found a way to pull up the decks here, and I'm trying to pull them up now. The first deck, it was Kinnan. Then it was Sisay. So Kinnan was seat 1, Sisay was seat 2, Dogthras was seat 3, and the final deck was look at that, another Kinnan. Am I correct on this one? Round 3 was 2 Kinnans and a Sisay.
Crick.
It was
Crick is the number 4. Yep.
Oh, my bad. I clicked the same person twice. Let me go back to the bracket. That was
Yeah, Crick
on
was seat
me.
4.
I see here. I understand where I made my mistake. That's funny. Here we go.
I did an early Esper Sentinel, early Fairy Mastermind. So I literally did nothing but just draw. Play a land, pass turn, draw a bunch of cards, counter or kill the thing I need to. Play a land. I was just being very patient. I don't think I even put out Thrastios. I was just being patient. I had a bunch of good cards in hand, a lot of interaction, which is the way I like to play this deck. I'm just hanging out. I'm just passing the turn. I Gilded Draked the Kinnan player Gilded Draked the Bowmasters. I copied the Bowmasters, killed that. Someone killed my clone of the Bowmasters. I Gilded Draked the Lotho to my side. So it was just like, it was really nice, like everyone's going after it. The thing
Damn.
that killed me was the Crick player didn't really get much going. However, had a million cards in their hand.
That's
and
scary.
Crick out. Right. So I convinced the Sisay player, I believe, to kill the Crick once. Plays the Crick again. Cool. I'm the only one attacking the Crick player. Even when he has 0 creatures out. And everyone has flying creatures. I'm attacking the Crick player for 5, 6, 7 a turn. Because I have Fairy Mastermind, I have a Gilded Drake, you know, like I'm like trying to hit him. And everyone else is like, pass the turn. I'm like, Kinnan, you don't need your life total. Sisay barely needs a life total. I don't need my life total. Like, why are we not beating the Crick player to death? I think they thought the Crick player would stop their problems, but like, oh my god, I was like, come on. So by the time I went to go for it, I think time got called. Something like that. I am on Gifts Ungiven and Intuition.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting. It's exciting to play those cards. So I remember intuitioning in the middle of the game just for value. So I got Savins, Eternal Witness. No, I got Savins, Devoted Druid, Swift Reconfiguration, which is like, you're screwed at that point.
Yeah, you're
Because
done.
you give me one of the pieces, I Savins for the other one, I make infinite mana. But I did that, and I didn't cast a Devoted Druid because I believe Kitten showed me a counter spell or something. Someone did something where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go for it. They gave me the Devoted Druid in my hand. I was like, okay. So I'm just kind of chilling. So I know I have the win if I have enough mana. So then I give Sun Given, I believe, for my another package where I need the graveyard. It's like Eternal Witness, Snap. And then I look for like 2 ways to go get Gaia's Cradle. So they give me, I think, just my 2 ways to get Gaia's Cradle. So I'm like, cool, I'll just find Gaia's Cradle and Deserted Temple and make 1 billion mana. And I finally go for it. I Savins, I get like 2 different ways to win. I think I win with the Eternal Witness Snap line. And I win because I had to win after combat because I had to attack Crick for another amount of damage to put Crick to like 7. Crick was at 7. He like killed a creature that I didn't give a shit about, and then I went for it. So Crick was at like 4 at the end, or 3 at the end. You know, because he needs his life total. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, if these people just attacked Crick more, I would have had an easier way to win. And I believe they could have win. They could have went for the win. But no one was drawing anything. Everyone was just... At one time, we had 3 Gilded Drakes on the field. Everyone was just copying Gilded Drakes and, like, passing a Lotho and a Bowmasters around. So I'm the one who ended up with the Lotho for a long time, which helped me because I kept on accruing treasure tokens. So yeah, I go Eternal Witness. At this time, I believe the time got called. So I go Eternal Witness, Snap, make a bunch of mana. And I was like, okay, I'll put it into Thrasios. First time I'm activating Thrasios until I find a Grand Abolisher or a Voice, whatever I played that creature. I have infinite mana of all colors. I have my win con, and I have a Grand Abolisher out. And then I was like, cool, I'm going to bestage you all your lands away. I'm going to Cyclonic Rift all your permanents. And so I won. The key to that one was attacking Crick enough that he couldn't play whatever he was going to do. And I got a little bit of luck where people were kind of bowmastering my stuff. They were bowmastering all the Sisay stuff, which was good because I'm sure Sisay could have messed us up if they had a Lotho. No, we just kept on killing like all their dorks. So they had the Sylvala, they had the Bloom Tender, they had a Noble Hierarch. And before that, I convinced them to kill the Kinnan with the Bowmaster instead of like my Esper Sentinel or my Yoshimaru, which was I think was like a 3/3 at the time. So I was like, stop this person, they're about to win. Stop that person, they're about to win. And I just kind of chilled. Even though I had the win in hand and in graveyard, I just knew I wasn't good enough to go for it. So that was a little bit of politicking, a little bit of like, you know, it's nice playing a deck that's not in the top 10, where people are not like really paying attention to it. I definitely think it's a top 16 deck on EDH top 16, but we're not the boogeyman at the moment, which is nice to play Yoshimaru Thrasios.
Absolutely. And when we speak about the boogeymen, those 3 decks are definitely come to mind when considering, oh man, I hope I don't play against Sisay, Kinnan, or using Crick here, son of Yawgmoth, because all of these decks are very explosive. Everything that you need to fall into place, every star that you need to line up in order to make this happen here, you just wham! Before you know it, Crick's spending all his life and gaining all his life. Bam, Kinnan's getting all these dorks into play, tapping them for all this mana, activating itself, and then boom, before you know it, you're generating infinite mana. Hey, look, there's Thrasios, and you're winning right then and there. And Sisay is on that same caliber. It's like, oh, look at that. I can count to 5. And before you know it, it just starts snowballing out of control. But
it's also people who run the top 10 decks, they've probably researched all of them. You know what I mean? They're just like, okay, I'm playing Kinnan. I know Sisay's a threat. Crick's probably a threat. Really don't know what this random Thrasios deck's doing. Even though Thrasios, in my opinion, is the best commander ever printed.
Yeah.
It's still like they're just like, ooh, maybe he's doesn't know what he's doing. And I kind of was trying to fly under the radar, trying to just play like, because I play all good cards, you know, like I'm just trying to like kind of hang out and chill, you know. Oh, I'm gonna quarter calling for 3. It's gonna have Horrent Oculus, nothing to see here, you know, like try really hard to not gain their attention, and that's what benefited me. The Bowmaster killed Sisei's plan and a Kinnan once, or I think just once, but still, it's like killing a Kinnan once is a win, you know.
We start rolling into round 4, where you are once again pod 1. You are seat 1, playing against Vivi, Krark Silas, and Blue Farm Tim DeCrom. Now,
This was
no heavy
nice.
hitters.
I was good.
Oh, sorry.
What was that? That was crazy. That was a crazy sound that came out of your mouth.
Now this
No,
one
it was
here,
like you spoke really fast. It was like some wizard spell. It was like you talked really fast into my brain. That was cool, dude. That was like some Saruman stuff.
I was still at normal speed in my dome. I don't mean to do that to you.
Yo, that was crazy. You just like were on the top of the Palantir creating like a blizzard on the mountain I'm on.
Yeah, dude. Frank thinks
That was
I
some-
speak elegantly. Frank speaks good.
No, that was some white wizard shit. I like that. That was impressive.
Yeah, bro. Don't make me say Hooba. I'll dooba the shit out of you.
A Balrog just shows up my front door trying to sell me fucking life insurance.
Yeah, bro. He's gonna sell you death insurance. He's gonna ensure that you will die. Oh man.
So
Yeah.
round 4.
Okay.
Round 4. I'm
Back-
3-0. Feeling good. No one else has my record. I'm the only 3-0 and in the building. So I feel really good. One of the guys is like, "You want an ID?" And everyone's like, "No, I don't want to draw." And I was like, I would take that. I'm kind of hungry. So we play it out. The C1 or C2 as a VV player is one of my good friends I've played with a long time, but it's his first CEDH deck.
Oh,
So
wow.
he's a casual guy who's getting to CEDH. Again, I know a couple of the people. C3, I've played a couple tournaments with. He's new to CEDH, but I know he's a player. Like he's a gamer. And then seat 4, I don't know who he is, but he's very exacting. It seems like he's a professional blue farmist. I go for what I thought was going to be the coolest fucking play, because I'm kind of having fun. I can deal with a loss because I'm 3-0.
Right.
I go hard. I forget all the cards that go into it. It's like I dump my hand to go turn 1 Thrasios and a Mana Vault.
Okay.
Thrasios Mana Vault as my turn 1. Turn 2, Birthing Pod. Birthing Pod away my Thrasios to go get Abhorrent Oculus. So I'm seat 1, this is turn 2, Abhorrent Oculus. I was like, oh, I'm going to have so much fun. I'm going to have so much fun. I'm going to beat Blue Farm to death. I'm going to have an uncounterable Derevi. You know, I was just like, I am going to mess everybody up, right? So I'm like, sick. Pot away my Thrasios, Abhorrent Oculus. Go to Vivi's turn, Manifest Dread, whatever. And then the seat 3 player, who we'll talk about a lot in a little bit, who is Krark Sai, which is a nasty good deck,
Yeah.
was like, oh, I see exactly what you're doing. And like he like got it, you know what I mean? Like, because for all of us, we can't know all, what is it, 40,000 magic cards, whatever it is.
Yeah, there's a lot.
He's like, oh, I understand what you're doing, and exiles my Abhorrent Oculus.
Damn.
It's like, that was my whole hand, was to get a turn 2 Oculus, which I think is really cool. Anyway, I was like, cool. Goes around the table. Vivi just kind of plays Vivi. Krark Sai develops really well. Blue Farm's not doing much. Just everyone's playing mana. I keep on developing really nicely. I play at Esper Sentinel, I play at Voice of Victory, but I really don't have much in my hand. But I have a pod out. So I'm like, okay, if I find anything, I can pod into something good, or I can pod into a Derevi, which with Voice of Victory will make me a ton of mana. I'm okay. But I'm not really doing much. I'm kind of drawing with Esper, but people are paying for it. We get to the Krark Psy turn. Forget what turn it is, maybe 3 or 4. And he just goes off. He's like, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang. Make a bunch. He had the Tavern Scoundrel. He's got a Bergie out. He's making a mana every spell. He's making 2 treasures every spell. Oh my god. He's just going. He ends his turn literally playing a billion cards. Go to Blue Farm. They Necropotence like a motherfucker. I don't know if I'm supposed to swear.
I do whatever. We're in.
They Necropotence like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
They hit Final Fortune. I'm like, oh, we're all dead. Untaps. Goes again, Necropotence like a motherfucker, because he doesn't have what he has in his hand. Just was like 1 pip short of beating us. So I get to my turn, I untap, and then I win. I Eternal Witness snap, infinite mana, kill everyone with a Finale Devastation.
So we are going to move on to round 5. We have discussed each and every round. There has definitely been a common theme with each of these matches. However, round 5 does have a little bit of a difference. I do believe this might have been the first loss the Hummingbird faced this day.
Yeah.
So
again, I talk about, hey, I finally was just like, hey, does anyone want to do an ID? Because at the time, I'm eating the sandwich I had in my car and like chugging a Celsius at the beginning of this match, and I didn't pee for a while. Like I was just like, I gotta pee, I gotta eat. Everyone just fucking chill. I'm like, if this eats up too much of the clock, I'm sorry, but I need to go get food. And so I got the food out of my car. It didn't take me that long, but I'm like shuffling my deck and like eating a sandwich. And I was like, does anyone want to draw? And everyone's like, no. I was like, great. So, so I'm 4-0, seat 1, and I have to go up against
I'm pulling them up right now.
Can you tell me tell me the commander in seat 2.
You got it. I'm gonna have them all here real soon. I'm looking for our final. Here we go. Okay, so the seat order here was you are seat 1. Seat 2 was Emmett Selch Unsundered. Looks like it is a Dimir commander from the new Final Fantasy set. The next seat was Stella Lee, wild card. Mm-hmm. And last but certainly not least, one Kefka, court mage, new Grixis commander from the Final Fantasy set.
Such a beast. I love Kefka. I think the decks look so fun, so interesting. Just playing like mid-range Grixis seems really nice, but the guy on seat 2 is a homie. Whenever I see him at tournaments, he does a lot of tournament grinding in the Florida area, and he's just really cool guy. We've talked. He likes altars, so I like him. I haven't done an altar for him yet, but he's just a really cool guy. Whenever I see him, I always try to like hang out with him, and like just a really cool guy. So he's on this new deck, and also he's a very good player. So I know not to take him lightly, even though the commander is like, it looks like a Yawgmoth's Will, but you have to do a bunch of stuff to make it happen. I was like, all right, that's fine. But like, he's such a good player that I'm like, I'm not taking him lightly. Stella Lee, I've never been scared of in my life. So I'm like, whatever. And then Kefka, I'm like, all right, you're a badass. And it just, maybe this is a toxic masculine trait of mine, but it's a woman playing Kefka, and I think she was the only woman in our tournament. So I knew there was some spice there. You know, like I know she was like dangerous. She's like, all right, I'm coming into a very male-dominated space. She made it to the top table. She's playing a really cool commander, so I'm not taking her lightly at all. I'm like, you're a fucking badass. You know what I mean? Like you're a shark. So I'm watching you. So, I just do my normal thing during the game. I'm like, I am just going to wait out whatever the hell's going on, and I'm going to just gain advantage. So again, it's a Yoshimaru Nature's Chosen, like I think turn 1.
Nice.
And yeah, so I'm just like, okay, I'm set up on mana for the rest of the game. I have more mana than everybody. If I get a Gaia's Cradle or a mana or a Soul Ring or a Mana Vault, I'm like real good. Or you know, Birthing Pod, the Nature's Chosen can untap Birthing Pod. Like I'm pretty good if I hit most of the things I need. And I have a million ways to find lands I need. I'm like, all right, I feel good. I'm just chilling. It goes the seat 2, the Demir. It's like cool fish, and then Stella goes cool fish. It's like, all right. My deck, it doesn't run a ton of creatures, but it runs enough creatures that I can play Thrasios and then chill behind a Thrasios and not feel a feed a fish, or you know, play a Mana Dork and chill.
Right.
Kefka goes, cool, dump my hand out of all these rocks. I was like, oh, she's like, I'm in seat 4, and I'm like, I understand. I have nothing to say. I'm like, I hear you. I'm talking from a point of privilege where I'm in seat 1. I'm like, I gotcha. Put out your Lotus Petal, put out your Soul Ring, go. She's like, cool. Draws all these guys these cards. My turn, continue to develop, make a couple mana, chill. Don't feed the fish. I'm like, I am not going to feed at all. That's my plan. Not going to feed unless it's like for a Birthing Pod where I go for a win or something. I was like, cool. Won't feed, whatever. Goes around, and the blue-black deck, the guy I really like, is just not hitting his land drops. So he's like, pay for fish, and then he finally hits a land drop, but he's like super tapped out. You know what I mean? Like, it just sucks. Yeah. He's just not getting anything, and I'm kind of relying on him to kind of mess with the other decks, but it's 4 blue decks in a pod, so I'm like, this is going to get messy. And Stella Lee is hitting everything. So he's got the fish out, but then he's just like, cool, rock, pass a turn. So he's just got a billion mana, and he's playing a fish. She plays a Kefka. We all start dumping some cards, but because they both have fish, it doesn't like affect them at all. You know, like it's hurting me. Like I'm dumping a land, then I draw a land, I play a land. Like I was kind of trying to get to 0 cards in hand because she was making us discard a bunch. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to survive, and then maybe I'll hit a Gifts Ungiven off the top and win the game. Who knows? So, the blue-black deck in seat 2 was like, I can't pay for fish anymore, and then plays Dothi Voidwalker and a Bowmasters. And I'm like, nice. Like, that makes me feel good. My Yoshimaru's big enough right now that I know Bowmasters ain't coming for me. I need my graveyard, kinda. There's a bunch of combos where I don't need my graveyard. I'm like, cool, whatever. And I know it shuts off Kefka. I know it shuts off Stella Lee to a degree. Cool. Stella Lee untaps, goes, I don't care about anything, and just jams a win. And the Stella Lee pilot, I know is a good pilot because it's a hard deck to run. But it just is kind of slow and like... But I'm kind of glad because it's my first time ever playing against Stella Lee, so like I wanted to understand where to interact. And every interaction I had, he selled the fish out. So he's like, cool, draw a card, counter your thing. I was like, cool, do this, counter the thing. And then Kefka's like, do this. He's like, cool, counter the thing. So Stella gets infinite mana, draws their deck. Bowmasters doesn't matter because he can draw on top of the Bowmasters activations.
That's true.
And kind of win before any of them come down. So Stella Lee wins, and it puts in my head like I need to get rid of Stella Lee from now on. Like that card cannot just chill. It's another kill on sight commander for me. So I lose, but it doesn't matter. I'm still top seed.
Yeah, it seems like it's a very interesting commander that I know that when it first came out, there were a few pilots who were on it, but now I don't see it all so much in the competitive scene. but it's a combo monster for sure. I'm not familiar with the lines. I really got to start doing my research on that one. But it seems like
you
it's like
gotta
it's like a
cast-
control combo. Like you just control everything until you're ready to win. Then you just cast Stella, cast what you need to loop, and then that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Then you play Born Upon the Wind or Valley Flood Caller, and you just dump a bunch of rocks in, and then win from there. Which is, it's fine. It just felt very not in control until it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a hard deck to interact with, I believe, for anybody. You know, once they play Stella, they kind of know that they're protecting Stella. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, you should try to get rid of Stella before she is able to do her. I believe she has to tap to do her thing. Getting rid of her before she's able to tap. But I know there's a bunch of instant speed ways to make her have haste and a bunch of stuff. So it's really hard to interact with in general. So you go, cool, pat to exile her. And they go, cool, on top of that, combo off. You know what I mean? Like, you need multiple points, especially if they have as much mana as many cards in their hand that I had to go up against. You know?
Yeah.
It just, there is an inevitability of it.
And now we are moving on to, if I'm not mistaken, our semifinals.
Finals, because I had a bye because I was seat 1.
Oh, you're
Seed
right.
1.
You're right. So semifinals is what built up our final match, which I am pulling up the decks now, which is fine. So let's see here. Seat 1 was a Hummingbird. Seat 2 was Crick, son of Yawgmoth. Seat 3 was Blue Farm. And seat 4 was... I just had the deck up. Here we go. I just need to keep these up. Stella Lee, oddly enough. Your old nemesis.
Yeah. It's nice that I played against all 3 players. Like, I played against all of them. So I kind of knew what they were doing. And yeah, this was a you know, I'm gonna blame the team. I'm gonna blame the team on this one. Crick and Stella Lee didn't do shit to stop anyone from winning. And any CDH player knows you need to play around the pot as much as you need to play around your own deck. Like, it's easier to go for the win after somebody else goes for the win. You know what I mean? So Crick did very little. Stella Lee did very little. So the whole time, it felt like it was me versus the Blue Farm. And that normally doesn't go well for any deck, because Blue Farm is just a golem. It's a titan.
It's the deck to beat.
It is the number 1 deck for a reason. It is brutal. It's efficient. It's fast. It's slow. It's everything. So, it's kind of came down to 2 parts, 2 moments for me. I had a Force of Negation in my hand for a while and a Snap as my only other blue card. I saw Snap as, because for my deck, I want Snap in the graveyard because I can combo off of it. Snap in the graveyard plus Eternal Witness plus Gaia's Cradle for 6 equals infinite green mana. Or infinite all mana of any color. So, I'm like, okay, Snap. I'm always okay with snapping, or with playing a Snap. So I'm like, okay, I have Snap, but I have Force of Negation, no other blue card. So the whole time, I'm like, this Snap is for Crick when he tries to go off, or for Stella Lee when she tries to go off. That is what this Snap is here for. So I don't lose to the 2 turbo decks, because I have 2 mid-range decks and then 2 turbo decks. I'm like, okay, that's what this Snap is for. So then Blue Farm goes and plays a Rhystic Study. And so I have the Force of Negation plus a blue card. And I take a little bit. To think about it. And he sees it on my face. And he goes, hey, I'll show you my hand. And it's land Necropotence. He's like, I'm not going for the win. I'm going to help you stop these other two people. And I said, God damsel. You know, because I don't want Blue Farm to have a Ristic. So I know if I counter this Ristic, he's kind of screwed. Kind of. But like next turn, he's going to play Necropotence and refill his hand. If not go for a really... Maybe go for Born Upon a Wind. So I said, well, you have a card draw in your hand anyway. So I'll let this go and I'll keep this because Stella Lee's my only loss. I've already beaten the Blue Farm player, even though I know he's a good player. So I'm like, fine, I'll let you have it. And people afterwards like, why'd you let Blue Farm have the Ristic Study? I'm like, because that's why. Because if Crick goes off, because Crick can, like that, like any turn he wants, you're all dead. You know, like, he draws his entire deck, and we're all dead, and no one's attacking him, so I know he has all this life total, so I'm like, I need the snap. Because he has no response for a snap. I go snap, they go, ugh. Same thing with Stella Lee. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, I'll let you have it. So that was my first mistake. It could have not been a mistake, I don't know, but that was one of the things that come down. Stella Lee does an early, the One Ring, draws a bunch of cards. I'm developing into a win because I have Thrasios, Yoshimaru's huge, I have Derevi, I have Kutzel, I have Ranger Captain of Eos. I have like every good Bant spell, every Bant creature you want. And I believe, do I have a Cradle at that point? I don't have a Cradle. So I'm like, okay, I'm like set up. I play Kutzel, I attack out a little bit, I draw for Yoshimaru because Kutzel and Yoshimaru is just so nice. And I'm like feeling okay. I'm like, next turn, I will activate Thrasios a bunch. I will try to find the win. I have a Ranger Captain and a Kutzel. Feel pretty good. Crick goes for it. He searched for and played a Grey Merchant of Asphodel. And I played Crick a long time ago, and I know that card is like your win button. It's Grey Merchant. He goes Grey Merchant. I go in response because Grey Merchant gains you a bunch of life. So you can kill Grey Merchant, reanimate Grey Merchant over and over again, gain a bunch of life, and then play whatever you want out of your hand. You know, it's the beginning and the end.
That's it.
Crick goes Grey Merchant, and Grey Merchant was about to drain everyone for like 8. He was about to get so much. He had another creature that like filters mana into black mana. Oh, I just felt bad about it. I felt weird about it, and I snapped the Crick with the Grey Merchant on the stack. Made myself some mana. Was able to activate Thrasios afterwards because of that. So I'm like, this is probably the right time to just snap. And now I have blue cards for the Force Negation.
That's true.
So I'm like, okay. Right? So I'm like, all right, cool. Get rid of Crick. And Blue Farm plays Tymna and a Smothering Tithe and passes turn.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm like, okay, this guy is just chilling. And I was like, okay. So the Stella Lee player... Oh, I draked the Stella Lee away from him because I was like, I don't want you to have this.
Oh, yeah.
He snaps the Stella Lee back to his hand, replays the Stella Lee. I'm like, all right. Again, no one's attacking the Crick player. Again, wrong move. Or the Blue Farm player. Like, attack these people. Then he draws a bunch of cards with his one ring. One ring's at like 4 or 5 at this point. Makes a Blue Farm player a ton of treasures. Replays the Stella. The Blue Farm player still has a Ristic Study, and this is the second point where I should have interacted. However, in my head, I'm like, I still did the right thing. So he goes, okay, I have a draw trigger on the stack, or I have a Ristic Study that you're saying yes or no to. I am going to Vampiric Tutor. And he says out loud, I am going to go look for a Chain of Vapor. That's it. Promise I'm going to go look for a Chain of Vapor. And the Stella Lee player goes, okay. I should have. Right there. Because he searched and he showed the Chain of Vapor face up. Put it on top of his library. Lost 2 life. Cool. Ristic Study trigger. I should have popped the Ranger Captain.
Yeah.
Because I had the Kutzel already out. And I activated Thrasios in this time and found a Neoform, which is what I needed to win.
Right.
Because all I needed was a devoted druid. I had Yoshimaru, sack Yoshimaru, get that. I had the other piece, infinite, under a Cutzel. Should've. However, I was like, what if he has something else? What if he already has the Otawara? What if he already has something else? What if he sees my shit coming? Or what if the Stella Lee player has a bounce spell? What if the Stella Lee player or the Crick player has a kill spell for my Cutzel? What if all these people have different spells? I'm just gonna let him do his thing. Because he already searched for and then bounced my Cutzel. Cool. So he searched for, draws it, and I go, okay, everything's okay. It all happened really fast. And again, this is what I said, like, I should have just, like, took some time to think. Because protecting the Cutzel was probably correct. And in hindsight, it was correct. But in my head, I was just like, I still have a Ranger Captain to protect a win. So he goes, cool, bounce. Would you like to respond? And my cat is pressing buttons. Do I still sound okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. So I let him bounce my Cutzel. Celery ends its turn. Now it's my turn. I don't have a Cutzel out to protect a win.
Yeah.
But I have Ranger Captain. I untap. I have a Gaia's Cradle. All I need is mana. I don't need a million cards. I just need mana because I have Machine God's Effigy in my hand. I have Neoform.
Got it all.
So I go, cool. Activate Gaia's Cradle twice, I think. Make like 7, 8 green mana. They go, okay. I go, sack Ranger Captain. Blue Farm has the one card that screws me. Literally, he could have wiped my entire board, and I would have still had the win.
Oh,
he goes, silenced.
Yep.
In my head, I'm like, if I pop the Ranger now, there's 20 cards that these people can have. That'll screw me up. But if I don't pop it now, there's only one card that'll screw me up. So he goes, silence. I look down, he has like 8 treasures. I was like, I have a Flusterstorm in my hand.
Oh.
Great. So the card I drew off the top was a Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I have 8 green mana, put a blue in there, overload Cyclonic Rift. We have a counter ward over the Cyclonic Rift, and nobody helps me in the counter war. And I'm telling the Stella Lee player, I'm like, if we bounce everything back to his hand, he's gonna have a way harder time at winning. He'll have no treasure tokens. You know, like he only has like maybe 4 mana. I will help stop him from winning. We need to get this around. And like, I feel like the Stella Lee player is in the best position. He's got 1 million cards in hand. Great. He counters my thing, my Flusterstorm. He could pay for it. I don't think I even cast. I did cast a Flusterstorm at some point just to see if he would do stuff. Until the last thing I did was Flusterstorm. Stormcrow was like 4. He pays for everything. Cool. Everything's done. I'm silenced. I play a land. I pass the turn. I have no counter spells in hand. I have no way of drawing cards. Or I have a Thrasios. But my Gaia's Cradle's tapped. Crick does nothing. He goes, cool, untap, billions of mana, billions of cards in hand, Grand Abolisher, win with, I forget what, something. Underworld Breach, whatever. So, that was the game. Maybe I should have countered his Rhystic Study. I don't know. Because there's a world where I counter his Rhystic Study and then still Elite pops off and I don't have to snap. So it's like, I don't know. I had limited resources and I was trying to spend them correctly.
Yeah, so, I hear you.
Maybe protecting the Cutzel was also correct, but who knows if Stella Lee had a bounce spell in their hand, and they had a bunch of mana open while they passed the turn. So I don't know. I was just thinking like, okay, I make a bunch of mana, I pop Ranger Captain, I'm going to be super protected. And just let them spend mana and resources getting rid of the Cutzel because I have 2 layers of protection. And he just had the perfect card. Having that silence was just... Ugh. I was like, out of every card you could have had. Like, man. You could have instant speed wrapped the board. I wouldn't give a shit. You know, I had enough mana for everything. Ugh. Brutal.
Like I discussed with Maui previously, the ceiling for that deck is incredibly high. And to play it at its finest, you do need to be a well-experienced Magic the Gathering player. And it's more than just playing the best cards and getting away with it. You know, that's just not what it's about. You got to know how to use those cards and when to use them.
We're from the fighting game community. Like, someone picks up the best character and they're a good pilot, good luck. They're going to get pretty far. It's just you have to know the meta better than them if they're more skilled than you are. Which, man, I thought I knew the meta and he just had everything he needed on that one.
Yeah.
Sucked.
One thing I miss about fighting games is you can pick the low tier characters and still like win tournament. It's so tough, man. It's really hard.
Some Zolodok just won a big tournament.
Really?
I mean, they're out there.
Oh
yeah,
man.
Dude. Like it was all stacks. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
It runs every stacks piece you'll ever want. It's pretty sick.
That's inspiring, man. Man, I want to play stacks, but it's hard. It's really hard. Because, like, some people are just not prepared for it because it's just not as prevalent these days. And you just start playing some of these nasty-ass cards that they just don't know how to handle. You know, it's like...
wins games, man.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to run every remove artifact and enchantment card you can think of? You're barely running enough to get past, like, my opening hand.
Right, exactly. No one's ready for it. And you just, like, slam Trinispheres and then you're dropping like 8 drops, and you're fine. Zolodok is a real deck. It's very scary. I do not want to play against one. It's very, very scary.
But I'm gonna look that up. Seems interesting.
It's cool.
You know,
it's cool. It's a lot of. I mean, you play a lot of instant speed too, because there's a lot of artifact creatures. Say all your artifacts can play at instant speed. All your colorless is at instant speed. So like, you play it in like a weird tempo-y way. It's very, very interesting. It seems really cool.
I was thinking about adding more stacks pieces to Magda. My opening hands still feel really good, you know. I'm playing every 1-drop dwarf that I can find in a sense. And, you know, those cards aren't good necessarily, but when it comes to playing or getting the treasures out fast, you need those dwarves. A turn 1 dwarf, turn 2 treasure is really good for sure. Turn 3 vehicle, now that's a safe 2 more treasures. Now you're at 3. And it doesn't even have to be just an all vehicle. It can be another dwarf and a vehicle by turn 3. We're running 2-drop vehicles, 1-drop dwarfs. That'll instantly put us at 4 treasures right there because we got one the turn before. Moving on right there to turn, we'd be on about turn 4 now, is where we'd be getting to more than 5 treasures.
Nice, man. Yeah, it seems like a really fun toolbox. I've always really loved seeing Magda decks, and like I always try to check out Magda decks, so I'd love to see what you're cooking up.
I'm loving the deck. I'm also jamming Itali here and there as well. I'm just having fun with the colors that I weren't messing around with before. I've been very heavy on Esper, so now I'm excited to play red and green.
Yeah, exactly.
Make mana and jam, but you know, even with Magda, sometimes the name of the game is patience. Just like how you incrementally build your value and wait for your moment, there are these moments with Magda where you're just building treasures and you're just sitting on a butt ton of treasures. And yeah, Magda's been removed once or twice, but you're going to start getting into 6 mana naturally with your lands and your rocks. And now you're stockpiling this mana from the dwarves that you've played in the past, from your face breakers, from any other little tricks that you may run to get these treasures without Magda. And sure enough, you're just going to jam her out, have what you need to win, have your vehicles to crew, and before you know it, Done. I'm even doing this in Brawl right now. We get Roaming Throne to double triggers, Sculpting Steel to copy Roaming Throne, and every time we get a new creature in play, we crew to generate more treasures, search for Maskwood Nexus, search for Zorn, crew with Zorn, and at that point, we're going for oh my god, what's the name of that card? Terror of the Peaks. We're going for Terror of the Peaks, searching more
Right.
dragons to come into play, and then doing direct damage to the face with Terror ETBs. This is in a 1v1 brawl format, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you do 1v1.
Yeah, dude.
Heck yeah.
Woof. Well, my friend, we have talked about your crazy hard work with your deck. We've talked about all the crazy hard work you put into the event. Definitely deserving your second place, getting very close to first. The only thing I guess we can talk about now is the future. Do you have any quick things you'd like to say when it comes to the Hummingbird future and the future involvement with the Big Guava?
Yeah, I'm going to draw up a playmat for the next big one, which should be a 64-person. Hopefully, we get the 64-person tournament in Tampa Bay, Florida, and I am going to make the playmat. I have, if you made it this far in the video, I'll give you a sneak preview of what it's going to be, which I've told very few people. I want to make it like Thrasios, maybe like half of a Thrasios, and then like a banana kind of peeling off all of the Thrasios partner pairs that are popular. So it'll be like a Yoshimaru, it'll be a maybe an Arden, maybe a Roger, a Timna, a Tevish, and kind of like having them all the characters kind of spill out of a Thrasios. And it's gonna be a big playmat. It's gonna be sick. Yeah, so I'm gonna make that, and that'll be a playmat that I can sell. And then I'm going to graphic design it up and say Big Guava Gamer 5K at the top or bottom or something nice. So we'll know that it's the Big Guava Gamer December extravaganza, whatever we're gonna name it.
Yeah, name's still in the works, but more to come for sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an absolute blast. Our goal is definitely to double the amount of players we had at the last event, bringing it up from a 1K to a 5K full-blown proxy-friendly event here in Tampa Bay, Florida. And how many times do you get that where you have a chance to earn that level of reward while still using proxies? So however you get them, as long as they're pretty much safe for work levels of art, you can read them. The actual rules on the cards are proper. There really is no rule past that would stop you from using them. So bring whatever decks you're brewing, whether it's a CEDH list that's well known or some crazy madman project that you think can take on these tournament events. Bring it all. We'd love to see you. This is the Big Guava, and all plugs will be in the description, if not the comments. You can find Hummingbird on all the socials. Support the love, support the art. He's the fucking man, and you'll be seeing him some more here on Big Guava. Love everybody. Take y'all. Have a good time. Take care.